this random dude has his armor. So now he's going to be following Mando, trying to find out what the fuck going on.
I think the next episode might be like what Boba Fett was doing, but I feel like that's a stretch because it's like, do we want to do like an episode without the Mandalorian in it, about a show with the Mandalorian in it, sort of thing? It's like, well, how do we go about this whilst explaining how we got Boba Fett to where he is now, sort of shit, which I think is what they're looking to do.
Also, Chris, is the video still going?
I started a new one when we paused.
Okay,
like
good.
Or at least I think I caught a pause moment.
Okay, cool. I was going to say, because it has been over an hour.
Yeah, we're going to have to trim this whole down.
Yeah, I'm going to do my best to try and trim it down.
And also, I only just noticed this when I was in the spawning menu for when we was in that last game. Somewhere along the line, Dion got disconnected.
You did too.
It didn't even bring me into the last game that you guys went into when you guys were in the menu last.
Yeah, nah, man, fucking hell. Right.
But yeah, anyway, yeah. So that's going to be cut out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to edit that bit out.
But yeah, I mean, if I had to guess what the overall arc of this season will be, it will be. I feel like, in fact, Sasha Banks. I feel like she might be. I feel like she might be Sabine Wren.
True. Or one
she
of
has the
Ahsoka's
same sort of skin tone.
Yeah.
Because she has the same sort of skin tone, and it would make sense because she'd be that kind of age whilst Ahsoka's in her 40s, nearly 50s by that point.
Oh,
and
man.
Because Mando is looking for Ahsoka, it would make sense that he runs into Sabine. And then maybe at the end, like, Baby Yoda goes off with Ahsoka, or maybe they form a little crew, Ghost Crew 2.0.
That'd be a cool
and then Mando's like, now that he's done his duty, he wants to return to the Mandalorians. And then Sabine's like, oh, I know some Mandalorians.
My mother.
And then brings him to Bo-Katan. Because they did confirm that Katie Sackhoff is in the Mandalorian season 2. And me and Lamar better know her as Amunet Black from The Flash. Melodramatic as hell, but Clone Wars viewers will know her as Bo-Katan. She is Bo-Katan's voice actress, and I believe she was also in things before that as well. I'm not specifically sure as who, but I believe she'll be playing the live-action version. She's about the right age for how she will be now, so it would make some sort of sense. Although I don't know, she might be a bit younger or older. I don't actually know. I don't want to figure out the timeline right now. Just mentioning the Flash makes me just dread timelines.
Yeah, they scare you now.
I fear no man, but timelines they scare me. I mean, like, I've got the Flash poster in where I'm standing right now. And it's just like, no, timelines, Flash.
Jesus Christ.
PTSD. Anyway, we're very off topic. Well, I'm very off topic.
We're going off topic.
We said we were going to come up with our overall verdicts for the episode before we came up with theories, but we came up with our theories first. So, final thoughts on the episode. So, Lamar, you go first.
Overall, for a beginning episode, I think it did well for both character building and plot building. Had a few nitpicks and a few things that I didn't necessarily like, but overall, I think it was a good episode. I mean, on the scale of 1 to 10, I'd say it's like a 7, a 7.2, 7.5.
7.2.
Alright then. Very specific. Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm going to sneeze, sorry. Oh god, it's I feel like for after this time off, and what with the big stonky Rona out there, and you know, coming back in and start a season, it was a strong starting episode. I think a very strong starting episode. You know, getting back into it again. And, you
Yeah.
know, nice Easter eggs in there, nice little hints at the past, and I think it reintroduced us to the character instantly, Mando, and see the child, and of the asset, and the Cyclops that he hung up like Batman.
Bring me
And
that ass.
bring me my
Bring
ass.
my ass. That was too
Oh,
bad.
so adventurous. That. Fuck that.
But yeah,
Logically.
and obviously it showed him like, you know, we're not obviously going to be asking for like what has happened between season 1 and season 2, but like, you know, it's showing a bit of growth, like we said. We know how he's like going a little bit okay with droids since dealing with IG-11, which was nice. And also
Yeah.
Rip Queel. You know, and building up with like Boba Fett, getting him into the show now, and seeing Temuera Morrison, that was cool. And I saw something on Instagram about how someone got like a picture of Temuera Morrison as Django in episode 2, like when they're on Camino and he's talking to Obi-Wan, and then like underneath that was like the bit at the end of this episode, and I can't remember it exactly off the top of my head, but I don't know whether it's just Temuera Morrison's like face has scars naturally. It might do. I'm not quite too sure. Or they've just matched his scars perfectly, or very similarly. Obviously, his hair's different because he's bald now. But either they did that as a hint to Django Fett, or that's just Temuera Morrison's face. I'm not sure.
I don't believe Temuera Morrison actually has those scars, because I don't
Scars.
recall him having it in his interview about Aquaman.
Oh, fair. Then in that, if that's
I
the
forgot
case
he
and he
was in it.
doesn't, then I think they've done quite well. So I guess in a sense that's kind of an Easter egg as well. Then if that's the case, seeing
Yeah,
the scars
I
on
mean,
his face, that's kind of cool, hinting back to his dad.
I mean, he doesn't quite have all of it, because like Django did have a couple of horizontal scars, whereas Django seemed Django had the horizontal scars. I mean, and Boba, he looks kind of like he's got some burn marks, like he's got more vertical lines, which makes sense because of, like, if it melted skin at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is a nice Easter egg because there are some similar scars there, so it is kind of like, oh. And I'll be honest, he doesn't actually look that different.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't
I
look
mean,
different at all.
don't get me wrong, it's been, what, 18 years?
It's been a long old time, that's for sure.
Like, I mean, there's certain people that have definitely aged worse.
It's gonna be sad when David Attenborough dies. I think it's gonna be painful. When
Yeah.
he dies.
Oh yeah, that
Can
was
we
him.
stop talking? Can we stop talking about national treasures dying, please?
Yeah, but yeah, it was a very good, strong starting for season 2. It bodes well. And something we didn't actually mention today. I wonder what they're gonna do with Moff Gideon. How he's gonna play into it some more. Because keep in mind, because actually thinking about it, if Mando goes and looks for like some other Mandalorians to try and help him, and he finds, say, Sabine or Bo-Katan or Ahsoka, or finds them together, who knows? I want to see something of Captain Rex, even if it's his helmet with Ahsoka, just as like to remember him and he's died.
Yeah.
I want to see something of Captain Rex. That'd be so cool. But
Just as
they're gonna know they don't have the Darksaber. That's a Mandalorian thing. They're gonna be like, well, this geezer that prick called Moff Gideon stole it. And he's like, yo, Moff Gideon, I busted up that geezer on Navarro. Let's go find him. And they're gonna be like, oh shit, he's not here. He's escaped. Shit. And then they're gonna go looking for him. So I think that's good. Sorry, it's a bit different to talk about Boba Fett, but I think it's gonna play into that. And maybe Boba Fett might do what is. Wasn't there something about like in the expanded universe he actually helped some people and became Mandalore or something like that?
Yeah, Boba Fett became Mandalorian in the expanded universe.
They could, in theory, try and play that in, but maybe differently with the Darksaber.
Yeah, I feel like
I don't know.
I don't think he will necessarily become Mandalore, but maybe become considered, like, earn his place as a true Mandalorian.
I think something like that could happen, maybe.
Because you've got the Duravilache who trained. You got the Duravilache who, if I'm pronouncing that right, I've probably butchered it, but
it's close.
it was 100. It was 100 people that Django handpicked to train the first batch of clones. 75 of them were Mandalorians. So, how is he that close with Mandalorians if he's not Mandalorian?
Yeah, and surely he would have had someone specific training Boba, if not himself.
And bear in mind as well, the clone commandos were taught Mandoa.
Oh.
That's something I actually would like to see as well, how the Mandalorian culture, like their language, has survived. Yeah, I mean, my problem with Moff Gideon is I know him more as Gus Fring. My thoughts on this episode, I think it was a strong start. I mean, there were nitpicks that I had. I mean, it was very much a space western at heart, and I mean, that's what the show was trying to go for, but I feel like it was just executed better in this episode. And there were a few nitpicks that I was kind of like, And yeah, the tropes, it's a bit like, oh, it's obvious, but at the same time, it's executed in such a way that I don't think it necessarily matters. I'd rather... it's like the whole... It's like, say the MCU. They very much follow a formula, but it's executed well.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what Jon Favreau brings in. It's going to work well, even if it's not an original thing. But at the same time, because of Dave Filoni, it's going to have that original thing with the Star Wars flair.
As long as it's not whoever does them new Star Wars movies that are trashed, then we're good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they better not... They should not have their hands on anything else.
Yeah. And that female... What's that female's name?
Kathleen Kennedy.
Her.
I guarantee you, I've had this conversation with people before. Disney, sue me. I guarantee she sucked someone's dick to get that position. She was handing people coffees before that for 30 years.
I think her and Brie Larson have a sex tape somewhere, and people are looking for it.
You're like, how the hell do you go from being secretary to Steven Spielberg to CEO of one of the biggest multi-billion-dollar companies in the world?
I think it's Steven Spielberg in a woman's suit.
I mean, I don't know.
Okay, I need to calm down. Apparently,
Disney. I think since they've had Star Wars, they definitely need to stick with the TV shows, because what they've put out has been, on the whole, good. May give one or two series that have been but on the whole, the TV shows have been good. I know this isn't going to be a lasting topic for this. It's just going to be a small bit. The standalone films, not perfect, not bad though, not necessarily needed, but in terms of what they did well. The sequels, take them if you want. But I don't disrespect the cast. I like the cast. When I first heard the cast, I was like, yeah, this is kind of cool. But yeah,
we've very much gone off on another tangent.
But yeah, this episode was cool.
So yeah,
I think this is where we should end it, preferably.
I do have food waiting for me.
Can I make my conclusion?
Definitely.
Yes, as long as it's not longer.
So, it was a very strong start. There were some tropes, but it was executed well. And I think it was one of the stronger episodes of the entire series. And I'd give it... I'm torn between a 7 and an 8, but I don't want to give it 0.5s. But I think I'm leaning towards an 8 out of 10.
Do a 3.5.
Yeah, I think it's... I'd rate it an 8 out of 10. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's cool. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, sounds like we're doing good there.
Right. Yeah, so that's been our
Our multi-cage
tangent thing on the new episode of The Mandalorian, where we go off on a lot of other things instead.
Agree. We do a lot of tangents.
But tune in next time, where we talk about why Norwegian bounty hunters suck, and we learn more about the Siege of Mandalore.
Norwegian bounty hunters. Why does that make me laugh so much? Yeah.
It's context.
A lot will need context. If you watch one of the streams, you will catch Lamar go, Norwegian bounty hunters. We'll be like, there it is. You see? Yes. Alright, well,
but anyway,
deuces
I've been the bagel. That's been that man, and that been this man. So tune in next week on the same bat time, same bat channel. Fuck off.
That should just be our trademark ending. Tune in this touch in that time. Fuck off.
So you should go do that.
Yes,
Rish, you should
I
go
will
eat.
go
I'm
eat
going
my
to go
food.
outside and stand.
You will go have that.
Go.
We'll be back in time.
Leave.
Right. Have fun on that then.